They fired me because of you. Adiz screamed, her termination letter scattered across the Seoul penthouse floor like broken dreams. Miho stood frozen, his expensive suit wrinkled from sleepless nights. She had you blacklisted from every major hospital in Nigeria. 3 months of separation had carved deep lines into both their faces. The woman he'd fallen in love with in a Lagos hospital cafeteria now stared at him with devastating heartbreak. Watch till the end to see if love really can defy family and culture. Before we dive into this incredible story, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you love emotionally rich stories like this, consider subscribing to this channel now. But how did a Korean pharmaceutical heir and a Nigerian night nurse reach this devastating moment? The answer lies 6 months earlier, in a story that began with loneliness and would test whether love could survive the collision of two worlds. 6 months earlier, Seoul's autumn rain painted abstract patterns on the windows of Korea's most exclusive restaurant. Inside, Park Miho adjusted his platinum watch for the 3rd time, each tick marking another minute of orchestrated torture. At 29, he possessed the kind of striking features that graced business magazines: sharp jawline, intense dark eyes, and the confident bearing of inherited wealth. But tonight felt like the 30-second performance in an endless play he'd never auditioned for. Miss Yang sat across from him, her manicured fingers dancing over her phone as she spoke. The merger potential between our family's medical enterprises is quite promising, don't you think? Miho's smile never reached his eyes. Is that what we're discussing? I thought this was dinner. Oh, it is. But surely you understand that successful partnerships require strategic alignment. She paused her typing to flash him a calculated smile. My family's medical supply network could complement your pharmaceutical distribution beautifully. His phone buzzed. A text from his mother appeared in formal Korean. How is the evening progressing? The Yang family has expressed enthusiasm about partnership possibilities. Partnership possibilities. Not romance, not connection, just business disguised as courtship. Excuse me for a moment, Miss Yang said, rising gracefully. I need to make a quick call about tomorrow's board meeting. She hadn't returned in 20 minutes. Miho wasn't surprised when the server approached with apologetic eyes. Sir, your guest asked me to inform you she won't be returning. She mentioned the terms weren't mutually beneficial for long-term collaboration. Even his rejections came wrapped in corporate jargon. 3 days later, his assistant Dojin burst through his office doors with crisis-level urgency. Rain lashed against the Han River outside, matching the storm brewing in their Lagos operations. Sir, we have a critical situation in Nigeria. Miho looked up from quarterly reports that had been failing to hold his attention. Lagos? Our $300 million medical center project. 18 months of negotiations, and now the local partners are threatening complete withdrawal. They're claiming we don't understand African healthcare needs. The irony cut deep. His family's pharmaceutical empire had built its fortune on healing, yet here they stood accused of cultural blindness in one of the world's fastest-growing medical markets. Send Director Kim. He handles international crises. They specifically requested you, sir. The Nigerian Health Ministry wants the heir apparent to demonstrate genuine commitment to African healthcare development. Before Miho could object, his phone rang with military precision. His mother's name appeared like a royal decree. Miho, I've arranged dinner with the Park family's daughter tomorrow evening. Harvard Medical School, impeccable credentials, perfect complement to our business interests. I'll be in Nigeria. Cancel it. Your matrimonial obligations cannot be postponed for business trips. He ended the call without responding, a small rebellion that felt both liberating and terrifying. Lagos International Airport hit Miho like a sensory explosion. Humid air carried unfamiliar spices, diesel fumes, and something vibrantly alive that Seoul's controlled atmosphere never possessed. The energy was infectious yet overwhelming, like stepping from a library into a jazz club. His driver Emeka loaded luggage with practiced efficiency and an irrepressible smile. First time in Nigeria, sir? Yes, and hopefully the last. Emeka's laugh was warm and knowing. That's what they all say initially. But Lagos has a way of changing perspectives. This city converts more skeptics than any preacher. The drive revealed a kaleidoscope of contrasts, vibrant markets exploding with colors that didn't exist in Seoul's palette, towering business districts rivaling any international center, neighborhoods pulsing with entrepreneurial energy his isolated existence had never witnessed. Lagos University Teaching Hospital rose like a beacon amidst urban complexity. The next morning, Miho faced Nigerian medical executives who challenged every assumption he'd carried from Seoul. Dr. Adebayo, the project director, leaned forward with intensity. Mr. Park, your development plans focus on profit margins and efficiency metrics. But where do you address cultural sensitivity? Where do you account for traditional healing practices our patients trust? Where do you show understanding that healthcare serves communities, not just consumers? For 3 days, discussions felt more like education than negotiation. These weren't business people masquerading as healers, they were healers who understood business. The contracts they signed weren't mere documents but promises to save lives while honoring both medical advancement and cultural wisdom. But that's not all. Wait until you hear what happens when jet lag leads him to a life-changing encounter. That night, despite successful contract negotiations, jet lag and an unfamiliar sense of purpose kept sleep elusive. At 2 a.m., Miho wandered hotel corridors, eventually gravitating toward the medical center's 24-hour cafeteria. The hospital cafeteria existed in a different universe at 2 a.m. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead, casting harsh but honest illumination. Exhausted interns dozed at corner tables while distant medical equipment created an almost musical rhythm of lives being monitored and healed. We're technically closed, sir, but I can prepare tea if you need it. The voice carried gentle Nigerian warmth and genuine concern. Miho looked up to see a young woman in pristine scrubs, stethoscope draped around her neck like a badge of purpose. Her dark skin seemed to absorb and reflect the fluorescent lighting, creating an ethereal glow, while her eyes held alert compassion suggesting she'd been caring for others while the world slept. Just water would be fine. Are you certain? You look exhausted. We have excellent ginger tea for jet lag. Without waiting for permission, she settled across from him, cradling her own steaming cup. I'm on break between rounds. How did you know about the jet lag? Your posture, the temple rubbing, and I saw you in boardroom meetings earlier. I deliver medication updates to Dr. Adebayo. Her smile was professionally warm but genuinely interested. I'm Adiz, night shift supervisor for cardiac intensive care. Cardiac intensive care. I've worked nights for 4 years now. She gestured around the nearly empty space. I prefer quiet hours. Time to actually connect with patients instead of rushing between crises. Her tone suggested caring for others wasn't just profession, it was calling. What brought you to nursing? Adiz's expression grew distant, accessing memories that still carried weight. My father died when I was 15. Heart attack. I watched medical teams fight for his life for 6 hours. Though they couldn't save him, they gave him dignity, gave our family hope when hope was everything. She paused, fingers tracing her cup's rim. That night, I decided healing would be my life's work. The nobility of her motivation struck Miho silent. When had anyone in his world chosen careers based on service rather than status? What brings a Korean CEO to our cafeteria at 2 a.m.? My family builds pharmaceutical empires. I inherited expansion into African markets. But after 3 days here, I'm thinking I've approached healthcare entirely wrong. How so? In Korea, we measure success by profit margins. Here, your team measures success by mothers going home to children, grandfathers telling one more story. He met her eyes. I've never thought about medicine in terms of actual human lives. That's remarkably honest for a CEO. Maybe I'm not a very good CEO. Maybe you're becoming a better human being. For the first time in years, Miho felt seen not as inheritance or opportunity, but as a person capable of growth. The following night found Miho returning at 2 a.m., though he told himself it was coincidental. His Legos business had concluded successfully, yet he'd extended his stay for cultural immersion. Back again? Adiz appeared with 2 teacups, settling like an old friend. Still fighting jet lag? Actually, I wanted to hear more about cardiac intensive care. Her face lit up with unmistakable passion. Most challenging and rewarding work imaginable. Every shift brings life and death decisions, but when families reunite after weeks of uncertainty. She searched for words. No feeling compares. How do you handle the emotional weight? Remember why you chose this work. Every patient going home healthy makes difficult shifts worthwhile. She studied his face. What makes your work worthwhile? The question caught him off guard. In Korea, success meant stock prices and market dominance. Sitting across from someone who saved lives, those metrics felt hollow. I'm not sure it has been worthwhile. Not until this week. What changed? Meeting your team. Understanding healthcare can be about healing communities. He met her eyes. Meeting you. What's your soul life like? Controlled. Predictable. My mother schedules everything, work meetings, social events, dinner dates with appropriate women from appropriate families. And you allow this? Her directness was becoming familiar but still surprising. It's complicated. Is it? Or do you tell yourself it's complicated because changing requires courage? What about your family? Just my mother and me. She's dealing with heart problems, genetic cardiomyopathy. Progressive condition. Prognosis? With surgery, excellent. Without it. She shrugged with practiced acceptance. But the procedure costs more than I make in 3 years. The casual discussion of such devastating financial reality hit Miho hard. 3 years of salary? Nigerian nurses don't earn Korean CEO wages, she said with rueful smile. But we manage. Over subsequent nights, their conversations became Miho's daily highlight. Adiz shared medical miracles and heartbreaking losses. Miho discussed dreams buried under corporate expectations. On his 6th night, Miho overheard hospital administrators discussing him by the elevators. That's the Kong pharmaceutical heir, isn't it? Worth billions. Strange he spends every night in our cafeteria. Probably researching local workforce dynamics for investment reports. Rich men always have angles. That night, Adiz's demeanor had shifted dramatically. Good evening, Mr. Park, she said formally, remaining standing. How may I assist you? Adiz, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong, sir. I'm maintaining professional boundaries. Since when do you call me sir? Since I was reminded who you really are. I understand now. The conversations, interest in my work, you've been conducting research for your investment. That's not what this is. Then why didn't you tell me about your pharmaceutical empire? Because for the first time, someone was talking to me like I was human. Not a trust fund, just me. Before she could respond, his phone rang with harsh urgency. Miho. His mother's voice cut through the speaker. Where exactly are you? Nigeria. Finalizing hospital contracts. Those contracts were signed days ago. You've been wasting time fraternizing with staff. It's not waste of time. I've arranged dinner with the Park family's daughter tomorrow. Harvard Medical School graduate. I'm not interested. Silence. Then dangerous whisper, what did you just say? I said I'm not interested. Whatever game you're playing in that backward country, end it. Come home and fulfill family responsibilities. What if my responsibilities include using resources to actually help people? You will not embarrass our family over some foreign charity case. Miho ended the call abruptly. You shouldn't have done that, Adiz said softly. I should have done it years ago. Miho, what do you really want from me? I want to understand meaningful work. I want to help with your mother's surgery. He stepped closer. Because I'm falling in love with you. But you won't believe what his mother does next to destroy their love. Before she could respond, shouting erupted from the hospital entrance. Where is he? Where is my son? Miho's face went white. She's here. If you're as shocked as I am by this mother's actions, hit that like button right now. And tell me in the comments, do you think Miho should have stood up to his mother sooner? Miho's mother swept through the entrance like an elegant storm, flanked by bodyguards. Designer heels clicked against marble with military precision. Miho, she said, voice carrying across the lobby, we're leaving. Immediately. I'm not going anywhere. Enough embarrassment. What is a future chairman doing chasing after? Her gaze landed on Adiz with disdain. This is the nurse. Her name is Adiz. I don't care. You're coming home. No. You think a nurse can survive in our world? The scrutiny, social obligations, business pressures? She understands saving lives. She understands values you never taught me. She turned to Adiz. Do you really believe this fantasy will last? When they investigate your background? When they make your mother's medical care conditional on your behavior? The threat was unmistakable. Miho stepped forward angrily. Don't you dare threaten her family. Miho's phone rang. Chairman Park, displayed. His mother smiled triumphantly. Answer it. Your real responsibilities are calling. Instead, Miho powered off the phone. Gasps echoed through the lobby. Hospital staff stared at unprecedented rebellion. You just destroyed your future, his mother whispered. No. For the first time, I'm creating it. You think this nurse will wait when the real pressure begins? Then I'll protect her. Adiz pulled away. Miho, maybe your mother is right. What are you saying? I can't do this. I can't handle your world. Say the word and I'll stay. Just say the word. I can't, she whispered. My responsibility is here. His mother placed a satisfied hand on his shoulder. Let's go home. Without another word, Miho walked away, leaving his heart shattered. But this heartbreak is just the beginning, wait until you see what tragedy strikes next. Weeks passed in Seoul like a gray blur. Miho attended dinner with the Park family's daughter, signed contracts mechanically, mind drifting to Lagos conversations. Sir, Dojin said hesitantly, you haven't been yourself since Nigeria. I'm fine. You've lost weight, you're not sleeping. You approved 3 mergers without reading them. Dojin placed a plane ticket on his desk. Go back. Why would you do that? Because you love her. And watching you die of regret is more painful than risking your mother's anger. Meanwhile, Adiz threw herself into work with desperate intensity. Colleagues noticed the change. 3 weeks after Miho's departure, devastating news arrived. Her mother collapsed at home. She needs surgery immediately, the cardiologist explained. Heart function has declined to 20%. Without intervention tonight. How much? 200 million naira. We need payment authorization before proceeding. I don't have that money. Without immediate payment, we can only provide comfort care. That night, her phone rang with an unfamiliar Korean number. It's Dojin. Miho's assistant. I heard about your mother's condition. How did you? The surgery has been arranged and paid for in full. Miho transferred funds this morning. Best cardiac surgeon in Nigeria is being flown in. Everything is covered. I can't accept this. It's already done. Surgery is scheduled for dawn. I'm getting emotional just telling this story. If you're feeling the same way, let me know by hitting that like button. What would you have done in Adi's situation? 2 days after her mother's successful surgery, Adiz was adjusting medications when a colleague called out. Adiz, someone's here for you. Exhausted from 60 hours of bedside vigil, she took the elevator down. She stepped into the lobby and breath caught. There, silhouetted against Lagos morning light, stood Miho. Travel-worn but determined. How is she? He asked simply. She ran into his arms. The surgery was perfect. She's going to live because of you. That's all that matters. Why? Because I love you. Because when you care about someone, their family becomes your family. What about your mother? Your obligations? I resigned from the company board. Liquidated my trust fund to start a medical foundation focused on African healthcare. You gave up everything? I gave up everything keeping me from everything that matters. What if we can't make this work? What if love is stronger than the obstacles we imagine? I'm still scared. So am I. But I'm more scared of living without you. Tears streamed down her face. Yes. Yes, I want to try. As the Lagos sun climbed higher, Miho kissed her with the passion of someone who had crossed continents to reclaim his heart. 6 months later, at Seoul's premier medical charity gala, Miho and Adiz entered together as partners in love and professional mission. She wore traditional Nigerian attire honoring her heritage while fitting into Seoul's elegant scene. His mother watched from across the room, not yet approving, but no longer opposing. Ready? Miho whispered as they approached the podium to announce their African healthcare initiative. With you? I can handle anything, Adiz replied. I love you, Adiz. I love you too. As they stepped forward to address the crowd about revolutionizing medical care across 2 continents, both knew their love story had transformed from personal fairy tale into a force for healing communities. Sometimes the greatest love stories don't just change 2 hearts, they change the world. If this story moved your heart, smash that like button and share it with someone who believes love can overcome any obstacle. What would you have done in Adiz's situation? Drop your thoughts below, I read every comment. And don't forget to subscribe because I have more incredible cross-cultural love stories coming that will restore your faith in true love. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's next.